I'm noticing at my gym how many people are ripped and cut and buff while I'm just trying to lift weights so my skin fits better. Oh, welcome, welcome, and then one more hearty welcome to Bangs and Botox, Women Who Wear Aging Well, brought to you by me, Diane Dean-Epps, author of Bangs and Botox, the humor book, comedian, teacher, baby boomer, writer, Mimi, and mama to the second power. I'm a woman with a big voice, big ideas, and lots to say about what I think is our shared experience. This podcast is about many things: empowerment, freedom, laughing at the absolutely silly everyday occurrences in life. And it's about encouraging you to own your space and place in this world. While it's true this is a one woman, all Diane channel show, meaning there aren't any guests, it's designed for you, the woman who is wearing aging well. Really, this show isn't limited to the over 50 crew because we're all aging. It's just relative to where you are at any given time. To paraphrase a Betty Friedan quote, aging provides you with new stages for opportunity and strength. So don't forget, you are strong. Flex those literal and figurative muscles and own your personal power. Yes, rage the machine. And I always want to mention to my male friends out there, the welcome mat is always, always, and yes, a third one, always out there for you. Bangs and Botox is for women and anyone who loves women or one woman in particular. It's a shared experience. It's pretty inclusive that way. The style of this podcast reflects my humor writing style, which I call sit down, stand up. It should feel as though we're seated at a two-top table together, less comedy club and more comedy coffee clatch. It's a slice of wonderful to be here with you today. You know, apropos of nothing, which come to think of it, that would be a great title for my autobiography. Apropos of nothing. I wanted to mention it was raining this week in my small Northern California town. Now, we've all seen rain before, and more than that, I live in the mountains, so we're no stranger to cold weather and all of the fall and winter variants of it. My husband and I get a kick out of the NBC affiliate meteorologist who talks about a good soaking rain. It's descriptive, kind of cute, and he's got it branded for his folksy style. But it's when people try to get real creative with weather reporting that I get a little uncomfortable. Let me just read to you what our front page headline was in my hometown newspaper this week. Ready? Widespread wetting rain. Sit with that for a second. Widespread wetting rain. It's at times like these that I fear for writing, journalism, and meteorology, all at the same time. So on the bangs and Botox front, see what I did there? Front, weather, go ahead. You can sigh. I won't even know. In the last episode, I addressed that most delicate of subjects, senior romance, or maybe even the lack thereof. That show wasn't so much hot cha-cha, divulging intimate details, but rather an honest, dare I say amusing, look at what an authentic long-term relationship really looks like versus a Facebook relationship. So you know that I'm not afraid to tackle the tough issues of our day. And so this time around, I'm going to talk about how elders dress. I call it elderwear, patent pending. When seniors don't live up to the societal standards set for how they should be outfitted, the very moral fiber, wait for that little pun to sink in, begins to fray, leaving us hanging by a thread. Before I provide an example or two, let me sidebar over to a related topic. Let's talk about my shoes for a moment. As we spend more time together, you'll learn how much I love shoes of all kinds. Trainers, boots, heels, flip-flops, high tops, you name it. Yay! Shoes! But Related to that item, when it comes to getting myself dressed, I'm beginning to experience that full circle feeling with aging. What do I mean? Well, I'm still tying my shoes because, like the pants I wear, I'm trying not to completely surrender to the vagaries of time that make it so my stiff little body doesn't really perform these simple tasks as easily as it used to. But I don't want to give up. So I sometimes need a little help in taking care of these things. So here's the full circle part. One of the first skills we learn as little tykes is tying our shoes. In my case, I was taught to do that with the tough love approach of my crabbiest generation father, who showed me how to tie my shoes approximately 2.4 times. And then he told me if I hadn't gotten it yet, I never would, and I could just wear my shoes that way. Someday I'll tell you how he taught me to drive a car. Very similar approach. Now, when we raised our children, we're what I like to think of the kinder, gentler generation. We use the patented and really sweet bunny loop method to teach them how to tie their own shoes. You know this one probably. You make two loops, those are the bunny ears, crossing them and then pulling one through a hole to tie the knot. The truth is, my kids understood that method way better than I did, but it was still a win, and so a resounding success. Now here I am in my golden years, trying to freely, fluidly, and forwardly bend down and tie my blessed shoes old school style. Nope, a lot of the time, can't do it. I need help in the form of strategy. I can't even do it new school style most of the time because I have a particularly crabby gluteal tendon on my left side. You're welcome that I won't talk about that anymore. So, what that means is I had to invent a different way to accomplish my shoe tying feat for the shoes on my feet because I have some really cute shoes that you tie and I just don't want to give up. Because you and I, we're close. We've hung out together. This is episode 6. I feel like we've bonded. We've shared things. So I'm going to share this non-patented method with you. No charge. Here we go. What you do is you lean your stiff side of the body knee into your bed while bending the knee of your cooperative side of your body ever so slightly. Plie, and then tie your shoe from somewhat of a back seat advantage. That's it. Easy peasy. Now, if you're too young to have to use a strategy, just file this one away and never say never because, like in Amy McDonald's song, Your Time Will Come, it's very apt. Also on point are her lyrics, Get Out While You're Still Young. I'd say swap in Bend Down for Get Out. Bend down while you're still young. And, that works with this subject. Today's show title, What Are You Wearing? Especially saying it that way, may sound like the content is going to be rather salacious, nasty, and not in a good way. Is there a bad way? I don't know. Now, while I do enjoy a bit of saucy patter, and not so much the salacious, it's not my jam. My title is more of a riff off the question asked by pop culture journalists when famous people sashay down some sort of red carpeted or gold doubloon encrusted walkway at a posh event. In that scenario, they want to know what designer they're wearing for the event. Well, there's no time like the present to really get into this one, and so I will. So, as you've guessed, the topic is how should we, could we, would we, are we dressing as elders? Specifically for our purposes, us regular, non-influencer, non-famous, non-asked about what we're wearing folks, I'm going to talk about the confusing messages we receive about what we baby boomers and baby boomer adjacent citizens should wear. Funny enough, one of the things we like to wear, I think, I do though, is activewear, because we are active. How many lists have I read in women's magazines? And you know what? That's on me that I keep reading them. that talk about 7 style mistakes women over 50 make that age them instantly. 3 reasons you need to stop wearing that and just insert any garment. I mean, ugh. Do you know what does age me? Time. Clothing is the least of my worries. Many areas on my chassis are showing the effects of having taken several million laps around the proverbial racetrack of life. There's quite a bit of real estate requiring my attention. And then you heap on the societal expectations we're now supposed to meet. Look younger, dress youngish, but not too young. You know, appropriate, but stylish without being too edgy. Oh, so don't bring my tube top out of mothballs? Ye gads, I'm doing the best I can with what I have to work with. Having said that, I haven't given up completely on fun and current fashions, but I have my own definition what that might be. Instead of donning senior I've given up pants, I'm still buttoning, zipping, and snapping myself, and a few nails in the process, into all manner of fitted fashions because I'm efforting. I like to think what I wear goes along with the cool, hip, and unique vibe I give off until I'm reminded that maybe cool, hip, and unique are aspirational for me. I was reminded of this when I recently exchanged pleasantries with a gentleman I know to be 90 years young. As we chatted, we both noticed at the same time that we were wearing the exact same outfit. What does that look like, you ask? Well, it consisted of a black shirt, red shorts, and black Converse sneakers. It was the summer, and I was taking my walking shorts out for their biannual walk. My accessories were all that stood between me owning my look and me sharing our look. Well, I'm wondering right now, what are you wearing? Are you uncomfortable with that question? That's okay. We'll just move on. Addressing senior outerwear possesses international ramifications because it contributes to the landscape we're all traversing and viewing on a daily basis. All right. Maybe it's not that serious. But, what I did do, I was curious how AI would handle this one. So I launched a search I knew that would get me exactly what I was looking for, the real issues surrounding the expectations we must deal with on a daily basis. Here's what AI spit back to me. Quote, senior women can dress however they want. Oh, okay. Well, here's my sidebar. Oh, well, that's a relief. Continuing with the quote. But for stylish and comfortable clothing, focus on high quality, breathable fabrics like cotton, linen, and classic silhouettes such as wrap dresses and well fitting trousers. Dresses, now I'm sidebarring, I'm having a 1968 flashback when girls were required to wear dresses in school. And trousers? Wasn't that term last used in the Hop lexicon sometime around the 1950s? Well, I guess that's all enlightening. You heard it straight from ChatGPT, which evidently just finished up a taster's choice coffee date with Miss Manners via a time machine that dropped them off in a 1960s diner. What it really does also is it serves as a reminder to really double check those results from ChatGPT when you use it as your research sidekick. The truth of the matter is I see so many styles I absolutely love, but I just can't pull them off anymore. In many cases, I'm not sure I really ever could, but so witness the many puffy sleeved shirts I've ended up donating. In fact, there may be a special section at the Goodwill just for those shirts I've dropped off. Recently, I mulled over a ruffle scoop neckline sports bra. Well, but in the end, wisdom prevailed, and a mirror would have eventually, and I didn't order it. Even without seeing that item, I think we can all agree that was a pretty good call on my part. What I do require are styles that are flattering to my form. I mean, let's face it, where once I chose garments because I made them look good. Ooh, I now choose clothing that makes me look good. I also need comfort in the form of sweat wicking apparel. You see, I sweat a lot, and not just when I work out. I sweat when I walk down to our mailbox, for Pete's sake. I've got a note for you here. Sweating is different than hot flashes. No, 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 no. Don't ask a woman what the difference is. I like you. Let me help. Sweating occurs as a result of exertion, while hot flashes occur as a result of hormones running rampant throughout a woman's body, throughout her life, throughout day, night, any day parts, any night parts, even if she has already gone through menopause. Did that explanation help? Speaking of that fine topic, menopause, I'll go off script briefly because I went to my doctor recently, my female doctor, and addressed to her that hot flashes don't seem like they're ever in my rearview mirror. And her response was simply to shrug. So there you have it. That was helpful. Well, so moving on to, as you all know, and if you're new to the program, you'll come to expect this. Highlighted in each episode is what I call story time with Diane, which represents one of my little anecdotes, not an antidote, that relates to the Bangs and Botox podcast theme each episode. Before we get to that, I just want to make sure and remind you about how you can engage with the subject matter and me, of course, if you want to. So, Bangs and Botox is distributed by a number of providers. I'm not sure how you're listening, but it's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, all listed on my website at DianeDean-Epps There you're going to find loads of goodies besides the Bangs and Botox podcast tab. You can just surf around there for fun. But these channels that Bangs and Botox run on are all absolutely free, not a subscription only podcast. So drop me a line through my website if you'd like to. All right, let's do this. This anecdote story is a little number that's less about what I like to wear, although activewear does figure prominently in this. And we know I've mentioned I like to wear it. But it's more about what I'm trying not to wear. Oh boy, that does sound nasty now, doesn't it? I call this held prisoner by my sports bra. Do I have your undivided attention now? Yes, it's true. I'm going to address that which no one wants to talk about. The national design treasure that is the high impact, fully supportive, seamless sports bra. I'm an active senior, so that includes frequent workouts, which you've heard about before. That means on any given day, I could be boxing, dancing, Pilates, or downward dogging. Ergo, sports bras aren't optional. And all this working out leads to quite a bit of sweating. Well, that's good. That's how I know I've got my heart rate up. Chucking my sweaty clothing post-workout, specifically my sports bra, had never been a problem. Well, until it was. Usually, when I foresee an issue with what I call relationship clothing, I make sure my significant other is home to assist me. Relationship clothing has been well established in my household for many years. These garments include, but are not limited to, dresses with zippers in the back, shirts with buttons in the back, and any apparel with a bow in the back. Until the event I'm about to tell you about in the most excruciating of detail, sports bras weren't classified as relationship attire. Oh, I remember it was an ordinary day, sunny with a slight breeze. I'd enjoyed a vigorous exercise session with the requisite sweat I'd grown to expect. I was feeling pretty dang good drafting off my endorphin high as I shuffled into the bedroom to change into one of my scruffy home outfits. Well, when I tried to utilize my usual swooping motion to fling off my sports bra, it all went wrong. Instead of off, it went to stuck way up high. Evidently, my sweat triggered a reaction not unlike one of those washcloths that expand when you add water. It rendered my shoulders twice as wide, Uh-oh. This item had now transitioned into classification as relationship apparel, and I was home alone. Well, I wasn't completely alone. The fur babies were all in residence, offering unconditional love, if not opposable thumbs. The fact of the matter was, I was hardcore stuckity stuck in a position where I looked like one of those arms flapping in the air, weird crew cut blow up creatures you see in front of fine car lots everywhere. I then launched into a comedy act no one will ever see in person, but I'll describe it to you. With my arms high over my head, squished into a capital V position, not for victory, I tried waving them around to create some room. Uh-oh. The unfortunate result was wedging my armpits into the pokey side pieces. How ironic. They're there for support, but there was none offered in this particular situation. That's when I realized I needed to take drastic measures. It was imperative I cut myself out of this God-forsaken garment before I lost consciousness. So I scuttled over in the general direction of my vanity table where I keep all manner of makeup and grooming items, including scissors. The journey felt as long as the Appalachian Trail as I shuffle stepped around throw rugs, wove around furniture, and then played dodge cat, dog with four critters. Against all odds, I made it to my destination without going rear end over tea kettle. I had mere steps to go when I got a cramp in my left elbow. Now, more than ever, time was of the essence. I had mere seconds before the annoying cramp would become the kind that freezes your limb like it's been cast in concrete. I bunny hopped the last few steps, crash landing onto the vanity. Little did I know the trickiest bit was ahead of me. You see, I was dealing with the twin challenges that were partial vision and limited hand mobility. That meant I had to bend over from the waist and use a sweeping motion to bring the scissors my way, much like a sea anemone uses its tentacles to lure in food. If success were to be measured by how many items I knocked off the vanity, then I was extremely successful. Over the next 15 hours, all right, it was more like 15 minutes. I love hyperbole. I located my nail scissors and sawed the foundational beast off my body. While it all worked out eventually, I'm struck by the fact that once again, when my dignity came calling, no one answered. And now for my recommendations, a little something I call the somethings. I know. I just keep using that because, clever, right? And direct. So my first something is something I'm watching. I finished Resident Alien. So good, Resident Alien. Even if you're not normally a sci-fi fan, give it a whirl. Come for the totally fun premise that is an alien crash landing on Earth and then taking on the identity of a small town Colorado doctor. And then stay for the excellent chemistry the entire cast has with one another. It's on Peacock. On the documentary front, I highly recommend the Lilith Fair documentary that's currently on Hulu. I had zero idea what all those musicians accomplished besides female empowerment. Just really awesome. And something I'm wearing. Well, comfort is key, as we now know, via Chat GPT. Yeah, that was kind of rhymey, huh? So I'm wearing cargo pants because they're in and they keep my abdominal region in. I pair these bad boys with some retro trainers like my newly acquired and oh so adored green with pink stripes Adidas, and then some snazzy plain tees. Voila! I'm ready to mix with the masses. Something I'm eating. Um, my daughter's birthday cake, nonstop. Here's a hot tip for you. If this is it all helpful? Of course. Buy the cake in a size that feeds a single digit of partygoers when in fact your party consists of single digit revelers. My adult daughter adores ice cream cakes, and so we were over the moon happy to recently celebrate her birthday with the aforementioned cake taking center stage. Because my sugar dragon came out to play hardcore when I visited Baskin Robbins, you're welcome, BNR, for the plug. I got the large size for the cake. Like, I think it served 15 and there were, six of us. The result was my husband and I, against not just our better judgment, but really any judgment based on anything, became determined to set a fork to mouth speed record. And we finished that sucker to the very last dairy infused crumb. Yay! Mission accomplished. Now I feel kind of nauseous. Will I ever learn my lesson? The answer? Nope. Before I yodel out that's a wrap, let's get to our closing essential question. Well, this time, instead of an essential question, I've really sort of got a challenge for you related to this show's theme about how we present ourselves to the world. I would love it if you would take a moment to notice the people around you even more than you normally do, wherever you are. You're in a gym, you're out running errands, you're at work. You get the picture. And give them a compliment. Now, I'm not asking you to get into trouble with HR at work or or perhaps have a nice officer of the law come and chat with you about something you've said. You can say nice things that go to character, personality, skills, abilities, or how the person inspires you. They're an amazing friend, they're positive. Again, you get the picture. It may take practice, but it's likely that that one really nice comment you made to that person will be the high point of their day, if not their week and beyond. All right. Remember, you can also find me wherever fine social media channels exist: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, where I can be located under my alter egos of Ms. Right and Ms. Right Now. That's a wrap for this week, dear listeners. Our experience is a shared one. Thank you for letting me share this time with you. Until our next Bangs and Botox, Women Who Wear Aging Well Comedy Coffee Clatch podcast friends.